Hello and welcome to Griffin Park, resplendent in floodlights. I did make the slightly cheeky joke that it's actually darker out on this pitch than it was with 3 floodlights at Carrow Road, but maybe that's we should let that one go now, shouldn't we? And you can see the BBC boys there finishing off for the evening. Norwich City Brentford signing into 2019 with a 1-1 draw. That's going to be a bit unspectacular for a lot of you. For someone like myself who bigged up just how crucial this game was for Norwich's season. The biggest game of the season so far in terms of off the back of Derby. You know, this was a game they had to win because it was going to define what would happen later on. They've got big games coming up. Will they be able to maintain the momentum? Will their season unravel? Blah. And as football does tend to do, it gives you something that's horribly inconclusive, which of course was a 1-1 draw. And where to start? Norwich found themselves behind in the game to a corner, another set-piece concession. This one straight from a corner, no second ball. It was literally headed in by Janvier, I think his name is. That's all his surname, and I'm assuming it's pronounced in a French way. I apologise. French accent, I apologise if not. Right in front of the Norwich City fans, Sergi Canos, I think, gave the old big fist pump at that. He was delighted, which didn't go down too well with the Norwich fans, which is a shame because they've always kind of liked him. So he then got booed off when he went off later, Sergi Canos. So that's maybe the end of that one. That was what put Norwich behind, and to be fair, they were second best for most of the first half. It was an unchanged 18 that Daniel Farke named. I think predominantly he did that because with the loss of Moritz Leitner, Emi Buendia and Jamal Lewis, he didn't want to make any more changes to the side. And ultimately, I think paid the price for that because they suffered 2 muscle injuries in terms of Marco Stiepermann and Alex Tettey. We don't know the severity of those. Stiepermann's thigh, Alex Tettey's groin, and it's, will they be out for a week or 3 or 4? We don't know yet. No one knows yet. We'll wait and see. But obviously big blows, both of them, at a time when Norwich are already dealing with the other injuries that they've got in terms of Leitner, Jamal and Emi, of course. So that's a high price to pay. The other price they paid was a horribly lethargic first 60 minutes, really. The flashes, but overall they were second best to the ball. They were losing their 50-50s, and Brentford deservedly led. And were actually a really awkward side to play. They play a 3-4-3, or have done in recent weeks. That's causes slightly different issues. Their front 3 were getting a lot of space and opportunity to run at Norwich, and it looked very lively on the counter. Brentford are a very good side. They used the ball really well. They've got some really talented, fairly young players in a lot of ways and a lot of positions. They're just wasteful in front of goal, really, and then a little bit unfortunate maybe at the back, but they have had some soft concessions in the past. So they're probably in a false position in terms of how lowly they are in the league, and you'd imagine they will improve. They're on a nice little unbeaten run themselves now, so that might be worth watching. I think I've managed to stoke up a couple of unbeaten runs since slagging teams off, Hull for example. So we'll see how Brentford get on from here. But Brentford did deserve to lead, mainly because of Norwich's own. Their level was nowhere near where it has been. And of course you put that down to lethargy and all these sort of things, tired minds, whichever, and it all seemed fair enough. But ultimately, as the game wore on again, they were stronger, they looked fitter, they moved the ball well. It probably helped that Tom Tybal, who came on for Marco Stiepermann sort of early in the first half, got much more into it in the second half. He was able to sort of start at the same pace as everyone else. It must be so hard coming into a game like that when you haven't warmed up, and also Tom's fairly rusty. He hasn't played a lot either. In fact, Alex Tettey going off on, I think it was the hour mark through his injury, allowed Norwich to change their shape. They matched Brentford up to a degree. I think they went to a sort of 3-5-2 more than a 3-4-3. Jordan Rhodes came on, and him and Pukki looked quite lively together. Hernandez and Aarons did well as wing backs, and the back 3 of Godfrey, Closer and Zimmerman battled really well, and actually it didn't matter so much about what was happening in midfield because it was kind of getting bypassed. It was proper championship end-to-end stuff by that point, and Norwich dominated, say, the last half an hour or so. They could have won it. Brentford could have won it. Norwich got their goal in slightly fortuitous circumstances. It came inside the last 10 minutes, I think, off the top of my head, of Mario Vrancic's corner, headed on goal by Tim Closer, and it somehow slipped through Daniel Bentley. David Bentley. Daniel Bentley's arms. So a pure goalkeeping error, but a Tim Closer goal. And Norwich huffed and puffed and had opportunities. There was a couple of penalty shouts, I think, in the first half. Now, I've got to be honest, I've seen a replay of the one in the first half against Teemu Pukki. I'm not convinced. I maybe need to see it again because it was sort of a bundle over, but it would have maybe looked a little soft. But seen them given, so I'm not going to say it wasn't that. And there was an offside shout, which I think was actually a handball against Jordan Rhodes. I think that's what that was given for. Tamer Pukki rolled the ball into the empty net, but it wasn't offside. It was a handball in the build-up, I think, after a smart save from Tom Treibel. But probably the two biggest moments away from the goals were two brilliant saves from Tim Krul. One in the first half from range, which was really good strong arm from a really dipping shot. But this one in the second half came via an offside from Mopai, who apparently was 3 yards offside or 3 metres offside. It's getting bigger each time someone mentions it. Should have been flagged offside, but the resulting shot came in, and it was an absolute peach and a really strong arm from Tim Krul to turn it around. And crucial moments of the game, I think that was it. Good saves, crucial moments, and of course gave platform for then Norwich to press on and get their point. Which, okay, you wanted 3 at the outset, but with everything that's happened today, but also, you know, the other results, everyone else pretty much lost apart from Sheffield United, I think. So Derby drew. It's a good point. You know, it's a point that edges Norwich a little bit closer to where they would have been had they lost. There's a lot of ebbs and flows, of course. Everyone plays different sides each week. You can't necessarily take it at one moment in 1 month or in one match day. Sorry, but as far as today goes, that point, I think that just settles everyone down. And in that way, that's why today was such a big game. Norwich needed to settle down. And actually, they have showed a lot of traits that we knew they had anyway today off the back of what must have been such a galling defeat against Derby. And self-inflicted too. My words, and also Tim Close's words to me a little bit ago, just down there. So take the point, run, and hopefully if we can rest a few people, then Norwich will be all right when they resume league action at West Brom on a Saturday week. What a huge game that is. And of course, West Brom, Birmingham at home, Sheffield United at home, FA Cup dependent, Leeds away, Ipswich away, although who knows what we're going to get from the Ipswich game, or maybe he'll be in charge, who knows, in terms of their end. We will see. So it's an interesting situation for Norwich to head after this game. And of course the FA Cup game against Portsmouth is going to be very interesting in terms of starting 11s. Grant Hanley wasn't involved today, so surely he will start. Ben Marshall, surely he has to start. Felix Paslak, again not in the 18. Where is he, and will he start? But Norwich are going to have to play one of their centre-backs who played today, because 3 of them were involved. Ben Godfrey again doing an excellent turn. Phenomenal what he is doing, that young man. Max Aarons had to dig in against some difficult moments, but again came through really well. Todd Cantwell again showed real flashes, even though in other occasions he was slightly off it. So it's going to be a mix and match stuff. Dennis Rabani, it was nice to see him come in and cause a little bit of mischief, and actually he had a good chance when it was still 1-0 and probably should have got that on target. So lots to talk about, reflect, maybe just take a breath. I feel like I've rattled that all off in a very short space of time. Norwich have left here with a point. It's a point away from home. We can just take a little bit of a breather from the league, enjoy a cup game, see what we get, and then return with a really crucial run of games in the Championship on the other side. And we'll do that with Norwich City sat second in the Championship table. It's not bad, is it really? Okay, so don't forget, loads more analysis reaction from here at Griffin Park, and that will be at PinkUn.com. I've just had, as I said, a good chat with Tim Closer. Plenty of that to come as well. That will be the same place. And yeah, it's not a weekend, so that was pretty much it. PinkUn Show is back on Wednesday evening, so catch us then live from 6 o'clock on all social media channels and of course PinkUn.com. And we'll see you for that one. In the meantime, Happy New Year. Norwich got a point.